Hey guys, so welcome back to Indirect Knowledge. So tonight we've got some tarot card readings going on, and tonight's first video here for this first live stream, I'm gonna be doing a tarot card reading for Amanda. And um, here's the thing, sometimes I get questions that are very specific, lots of details. Those are always kind of appreciated because it kind of gives me more perspective on things, and I can oftentimes when somebody's giving me those details, I can actually get the answer before I even do the tarot card reading. It's just my own intuition kicks in, or I get some kind of a vision, or something populates inside my mind, or the energy strikes a chord or something like that, and it really does give me kind of more insight sometimes. Sometimes though, I get questions that are rather vague, where there's really not a lot of details. It's like the person really just doesn't want to share a lot, almost as though they just want me to kind of do the work and tell them what I get, kind of just in that direction. So that's fine too. It doesn't matter. Either way is perfectly fine. But I just wanted to kind of let you guys know that sometimes when I list someone's question on here, you might not really have a keen idea either on what exactly is going on with it. Tonight, though, we have a pretty kind of, I don't know if it would be considered like in the middle or not, but Amanda wants to know basically, if she's doing the right thing. And so that's, and we're not going to mention any names or anything like that inside of this other than the common first name Amanda, just for privacy reasons and everything. But, but let's find out a little bit more about the situation. That's kind of where I was leading into, is kind of what I wanted to kind of share with you guys, is when I do get a rather vague question or one with few details, what can be especially useful or helpful to me, as someone psychic, is, hey, Maria, it's good to have you on the channel. Thanks for joining the chat here. If you have a question or something you'd like answered or whatever, we have time probably after this. I've got several tarot card readings to do tonight. And so I'll have multiple live streams, probably at least another 3 or 4. So if you don't have a question for this video, definitely keep checking back, because I'll be pretty consecutive, as I go along the thing. Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, doing really good tonight. I've been doing a lot of service work in that. So just to give you an idea of kind of like some of the things we've been doing, it's like yesterday I was actually doing something that was a little outside the norm for me personally in terms of helping people. There's someone that has a well, and it's a little distance away too, but they were needing help with it, like taking pipes out of the well, and so that they can get some drinking water and be able to bathe and everything like that. So they'd asked, if the monks could help or whatever. So we were like, well, we'll do what we can do, So of course we just so I went over there yesterday, and it's probably about an hour and 20 minutes away by drive, and went over there and we just kind of helped out the best we could, and that was pretty much it. And then today it's been mostly cooking, and what else have we really been doing today? Just kind of a quiet day for the most part. So yeah, it's been pretty good. We had, our days get started pretty early on, but yeah, just been doing a lot of cooking and stuff. So how are you? How are you doing? If you can answer back, I can kind of fill in everybody. While you answer that or think about things, I will start doing this tarot card reading and get us right into the action. So what I was trying to say though is, so like if I get less details about something, or someone is, maybe a little shy when it comes to, or they just want to kind of see what's going on and everything, the cards can really help me out a lot. So they kind of act as like a tool. So a lot of times the things that come up in the reading will give me that insight, or that, I don't know how to best put it, but tap into that energy a little bit more easier in that. So anyway, so let's find out now for Amanda, if she's making the right, if she's doing the right thing in that. So for this, we are just going to use a 3-card spread, and that's to kind of get to the bottom of the yes or no. So we're going to get a yes or no for her, and then we'll get whatever else comes up out of the cards, and I'll be glad to share those with you guys. And whatever comes to me psychically, I can also put that out there for you as well. So the first card that's coming up is this 5 of Pentacles. So 5 Pentacles is sort of this kind of middle of the road sort of card. Just in the sense that 5 is sort of the middle of 10, so we have 1 to 10, and then 5 is sort of in the middle. But this is usually a card that comes up when we're kind of in the middle of sort of like a journey, or, kind of whatever we've been kind of engaged in. And it's normally not the best time in this process, in this journey. It's usually kind of where we're kind of falling on our face a little bit, or we're kind of out in the cold, or out in the dark. Maybe we're not as successful as we once were. And it's like we've kind of maybe close to hitting rock bottom, maybe not exactly rock bottom, but we're pretty, it can be kind of like we've kind of hit some devastation here, so it can be a little bit unnerving. But the education in this, like there's a really good message with this card, and the message is this: basically, if you get this, like say you get this card in your reading, it doesn't matter if it's like a full-on reading or this kind of reading, but if you get this card in your reading, the real lesson in this card for you is that it basically presupposes that it assumes that you've already been successful once, and maybe now you're just not as successful, or you're just not exactly where you once were. But the good news is with this card is the message here is that because you know how to become successful in the first place, because you've been successful already, or and success could be measured in different ways, and it can be defined as, very differently depending on the situation or your past or whatever the situation is that's going on here. But it basically is kind of one of those things that says, hey, you can still be successful again, even though you might not be right now. And the reason you can is because you already know how to be successful. You just have to go and retrace your steps from once upon a time when you got yourself successful. So it's not a bad card. It's just kind of a reminder that, hey, things may not be going exactly the way that you had planned for them to go, and maybe you're kind of dissatisfied right now. But the good news is that you can just go back, retrace your steps until you go back to where you kind of, I don't want to say made a mistake, but just where things started to go south for you, and then you can actually make some corrective actions and then start going back north again. So that's what this card's really all about. The next card, though, so it's a little bit of a bleak card. The next card, though, that we have is the Death card. So, when this card comes up, especially for people that have maybe first time gotten their tarot cards done, they see this card and they're just like shocked. It's sort of this, oh my goodness, this is not a good card. And when you look at it, it doesn't seem like such a great card. But Death can also indicate like we're kind of on the verge of like new beginnings, because everything else going on is about to expire, basically, or we're fixing to have to go into a new direction. It may be by force, it may be by choice, but whatever's been happening is about to end. Like whatever we've been working through, it's just, it's also about transformation. So it's sort of like sometimes we have to modify whatever it is that we're doing, or we have to move into a different direction and all, just for our own personal growth and happiness. And so sometimes we have to let go of old things in order to make room for new things. That's what this card kind of indicates. So the next card we have is the Two of Wands. Now, twos are all about partnerships, relationships, those kind of things. The wands are really about that fiery energy. So this is sort of like the go-getter card, so to speak. So this is sort of a step up from just the One of Wands, which is sort of like taking some new actions, or kind of, moving in a new direction and all. This one here is where we're kind of surveying things. Like we've already taken some action, but now we're kind of in this place where it's like, okay, so just stop for just a second. Let's just kind of survey things, see where we're at with everything, and see what the next step is going to be. So it's like we've kind of like just started taking action, but now it's like it's time to not necessarily pause, but it's just time to kind of slow things down just a hair so that we can see, okay, is this really the best course of action or not? So it's kind of that thing, but it's also about partnership. It's maybe where we're having to take a little bit of time to consult a partner or kind of figure out what's going on with things. Um, so that's what's kind of going on here. Uh, so um, so when we look at each card individually, it's kind of says something to us. If we look at things collectively, it paints kind of a more complete picture. And so, what is that picture that we're really looking at? Well, we have the Five of Pentacles, which is sort of about like sort of a little bit down on our luck. Oftentimes, this is like where we feel kind of like we're in a weakened position, or we feel like maybe we just don't have the resources that we need in order to really be comfortable with our situation. So it could be like a little bit lacking or some limitation, things along those lines. And then we have this Death card, which is about like, geez, like something's got to give. And death can mean a literal death also. So maybe it could have been like a death in the family or something like that, or someone near and dear, or something along those lines as well. But it could also very well be about transitioning, going from one thing to the next. Sometimes it could just be like about career moves, like whatever work we've been doing, we've maybe, uh, you know, not been doing so good with it. And then finally, the last card is really this Two of Wands, where it's like kind of like this thing is like, am I making the right choice? Am I doing the right thing? And it's almost like we're really kind of thinking about relationships and kind of our partnership here and weighing it out a little bit to kind of see what's going on with it and that. So so um, so as far as like the choice at hand here, um, sort of cautionary. I mean, this if we're going to look at it in terms of the yes or no, in terms of what the question is, um, wants to know, am I doing the right thing? This is a little bit like gray area. I mean, this is indicating uh, not necessarily. Okay, so like not really, not really making the right move here. Um, but if you're looking for like you know a different situation and looking to eventually move forward, uh, then yeah, I mean, you could make that decision and just know that that's going to be the trajectory. You're going to lose some things in the process of doing that. Um, but sometimes, change is a good thing, and that's what we want. And ultimately, it does boil down sort of to what it is that you want. So kind of there's sort of this gray area here. Um, it might even behoove you to have another reading done and just kind of give a little bit more detail, or like, what is it that you're really wanting, and that would be sort of the determining factor, because the cards that we have here, like five is kind of in the middle, so it's sort of saying, one way or another, it's sort of like, even if you make the wrong decision, you can always go back and maybe make some corrective actions if you need to. Death is like, well, even if you lose out on this situation, there's still tomorrow. You'll still be able to take some course of action. There's still going to be other choices eventually. It's just the old stuff will be falling by the wayside. And then finally, it's like when we're asking, like we're looking at kind of this partner thing, leaving kind of a partner behind us, maybe moving in a different direction or looking at things from a different perspective and all. It's really kind of giving us this here clue about perspective. Well, it could be a mistake, it could be correct, but the cards, because of Like if I was going to give you like the yes or no definitive, I'd say no. And just because of the cards that we have pulled. If we don't look at kind of what the subtle meaning is or what I'm getting intuitively, which is what I've been explaining, we would say, no, this is definitely not a positive card. So this would be a no. This is definitely not a positive card. So this would be a no. Of course, it all depends on your perspective, but I mean, just in general, that would mean no. This card here would be kind of like, kind of leaving something behind, but it's like kind of having to take a wait and see kind of attitude about things. But at the same time, we're moving things, we're taking action and stuff, so it's kind of like two's about balance, and trying to weigh things out a little bit, so I mean, just in terms of the answer, it would be no, wouldn't be making the right decision. However, the caveat here is that with this situation, what I'm picking up is it's not really so yes or no on it. So what I would say is like, I would just take a little bit of time to kind of assess things, kind of maybe where you're at with it, and understand kind of what's at stake, and knowing that there will be some loss associated with the actions that you're taking, but that with the losses, there will also be new beginnings and some things that could be leading you in positive territory. And also knowing that even if you lose everything, or if you lose that on this situation and all, you can always retrace your steps moving forward. You might not have the exact same opportunity or the exact same people in your life with this, but you would have other opportunities in the future to kind of reclaim yourself, reclaim success, kind of go back in that direction of that. So that's kind of it. I hope it helps you. I mean, and again, like probably my recommendation would be maybe a more exhaustive tarot reading, whether from me or from anyone that does tarot and stuff. That would be, pretty helpful to you. But then, just I would get some clarity or more insight in terms of the actual situation. You may already be intuitive yourself and kind of understanding things a little bit. But anyways, I don't like to give bad news to people, but I do like to give honesty in my readings. And so this is really what I'm kind of picking up here. So hope it helps you. It's always good to get information before the fact instead of after. So definitely recommend. So I'm glad that you trusted me to do this for you. If you need anything, though, as your tarot coach, I'm always here for you. So please don't hesitate to reach out. And that goes for everyone watching. And guys, if you guys want to reach out to me, if you need a tarot card reading, I've got my information in the description below this video. And you can do that as well. And if you guys want to help, most of you guys that watch this know that I'm a monk. So if you'd like to help spread love for God to others, you can help me out with that mission. And the website to donate, if you care to, if it's in your heart, is helpbydonating.com, and you can give whatever amount is in your heart. So that's pretty much it. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, just like Maria here. If you guys want to get a question or something answered, you're more than welcome to do that. Maria, she just kind of wanted to check in, I think, and just say hi. So, hey, Maria. But guys, again, I'll be doing some more of these tarot card readings here throughout the rest of the night. So if you guys want to chime in, please do. I hope to see you guys soon. Much love, many blessings. See you guys on the next episode.